Hi everyone. Today we're going to learn about rocks. First thing is how rocks are classified. So rocks are classified into three different groups. I think you learned that in grade 6 probably. And those three groups are, if you recall, igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. So what is the difference? Well, basically the difference is they're formed in different ways. So rocks are classified on the basis of their method of formation or origin. Okay, it's an important concept, how they were formed. So rocks are formed in three different ways. Now let's take another look at just general stuff about rocks. Rocks in relation to minerals. Now, most rocks are composed of minerals. Most rocks, okay? There are some that aren't, like coal, for example, but most rocks are composed of minerals. Now, if you look at this diagram of this piece of granite, it shows that this piece of granite here is made of three different kinds of minerals in this particular case. This drawing should look familiar to you. That's supposed to represent a quartz crystal. This one here is supposed to represent a feldspar, and this one here is supposed to represent, biotite mica. So they're pointing to the biotite mica there, they're pointing to the feldspar here, and the quartz here. So what this thing looks like is a cookie made of different items that are all together. And that is what this granite looks like. Let's take a closer look at this granite. There's an example of granite for you right there. And if you look at it, you can see the pinkish color of the potassium feldspar. You can see the black color of the mica, the biotite. And you can probably see a little bit of what could be quartz or plagioclase in here. You see a little sparkly things in there would be quartz. So different minerals are making up this rock. Okay, so that's kind of like what the artist intended to draw here. Okay, so now there are two different kinds of rocks based on mineral composition. Now some rocks are what we call monomineralic. Mono means one. So that means that these rocks are composed of only one type of mineral. Now calcite would be a great example of that. The rock known as limestone is only made of calcite. So here's an example. Okay, you can't see different minerals in there. Basically just one mineral, the whole thing. You might have learned a term in the past called homogeneous or homogeneous. The similar throughout. Almost like like maybe one of those cookies, like a sugar cookie, where every bite has the exact same thing in it. There's nothing different in a sugar cookie. It's all the same thing all the way through. Or a butter cookie. That would be kind of like a monomineralic rock, like limestone. However, most of the rocks are what we call polymineralic, which means they are composed of two or more minerals. Like, for example, how quartz and feldspar and mica all, together make granite. Now, polymineralic, poly means multiple, means many, and so this is a rock made of many different minerals in it. I'll give you another example of that. Here's an igneous rock called gabbro. If you look at gabbro, see the light green olivines in here, and these dark green pyroxenes in here, and so there's definitely there's different minerals making up this particular rock. So it's a polymineralic rock. Okay, now one little analogy for you. A little analogy. Letters are to words as what is to rocks. Well, let's think about that. Letters make up words. So, in the same regard, what makes up rocks? Well, the answer would be minerals. Minerals make up rocks. But, here's an interesting thing. We have identified in nature, in the universe, at least 2,500 different minerals have been identified. However, these right here are the minerals that make up almost all the rocks you'll ever encounter. So like 95% of all the rocks out there, or 90% of all the rocks out there, are composed of just these 12 minerals. All right? So there's some odd minerals out there. Definitely some odd ones, like, galena, for example, ulexite, these are not common rock-forming minerals. So most of the minerals out there really aren't, the common rock-forming ones, but these are the dominant ones. Most of the ones you'll encounter are basically these 12. Okay? Now, the best explanation using these terms, the best explanation for this phenomenon is which of these 4. Check out the 4 answers, and I am going to make this one count, so circle your best answer here. Okay, so the best explanation for this is that most rocks have a number of different minerals in common. It's the only explanation that works here. Okay? All right, very brief video. We're going to call it quits right there. Leave any questions you might have. Next video is going to be on igneous rocks. And have a wonderful afternoon or evening, and we'll see you soon.